One of the things I've come to understand about God is that not all prophets are the same. There are two Hebrew words for prophets used in the Old Testament. The first word is Hazon and Nabi. And Nabi speaks about the bringing forth of the word. That's Nabi, a bubbling forth. So Hazon speaks about the seeing of visions. So there are prophets that hears and there are prophets that see visions. And that is the Hazon kind of prophets. And in the Old Testament, a prophet is called Hazon and a Nabi. When you study the Old Testament, you will find that in the book of Samuel, the two words are used interchangeably to refer Samuel as a prophet. So Samuel was both a prophet in the form of Hazon and both a prophet in the form of Nabi. He could see and he could hear. That is when a prophet is able to function in all those dimensions of the prophetic ministry. And then there's no barrier. Any dimension he goes, he's able to function perfectly well. One of the advantages of Prophet Samuel was that the guy was not just a prophet, but the guy was called as a prophet to prophets. You know, there are those group of men that God have given them favor and the mercy that they are able to actually walk with God, to understand that they have the ability to train prophets and to, raise prophets on behalf of God. And Samuel was one of them. Got to a time that when you come into the atmosphere or the environment of Samuel, you are able to see, you are able to hear. So a Nabi prophet can prophesy but doesn't really see visions. That's a Nabi prophet. But they still prophesy through either an audible voice or by hearing through other methods. That's a Nabi prophet. When you study the prophets, you will find that this is how Daniel started his prophetic ministry. He only got to see visions at much later stage in his ministry. One of the things you should understand about the prophetic ministry too is that revelation is progressive. Not just the prophetic ministry, but ministry in general. God don't call people in a kind of static way. The callings of God are progressive. In other words, you can be called and in the midst of your calling, you may see yourself only seeing visions. But in the course of time, you realize that you are able to migrate from seeing visions. Right now, you are able to hear. Your intuition is being sharpened. And then all of a sudden, you have received words of power. You should also understand that words of power are different from your ability to see visions. You can see visions and then also you don't have words of power. Words of power is when you are migrated to the realm of Ezekiel, where you are now qualified to enter or to be taken into an atmosphere full of dry bones. And when you are in that atmosphere full of dry bones, you are able to kind of like call them back to life. That is words of what? Power. So you see, you can migrate, you can grow in the prophetic ministry. Not just in the prophetic ministry, in your area of calling, you can grow. There are many people that grows in that area. And as a matter of fact, we are expected to grow, you see. So Daniel started as a Nabi kind of prophet, and then later in his ministry, he began to see visions. At the later stage of his ministry, he will focus in the area of wisdom, but move into Hazon and started seeing what vision. So he said, I, Daniel, I became a prophet through studies. There is a Hebrew word for the word vision, and there are also two Greek words for vision. One of the Hebrew words for vision is the word hazard, which means to see, to behold, to select for oneself. I have hazard a revelation. I have seen a revelation. So hazard means to see, to behold, to select for oneself. It is the development of the word hozi, or the seer. Then there are development like what? Hizayon, Hizzayon, which means visions. All these are different development of the root word hazard or hazard. So there is a usage of the word hazard, which is one of the platform prophets are able to walk in new dimensions by using it. The words that means to see and to behold. One of the things you should understand is that hazard, hazor, Hazon. All these words continue to be used in the same manner until suddenly in the chapter 10 of Daniel encounter. So you see that Daniel revelation was progressive. First of all, he said, I saw Hazor. Second, I saw Hazon, and I also saw Hazard. So you can grow in revelation. You can increase in revelation. There can be a change around you in your revelation. Your revelation can be progressive. You must not keep seeing the same thing at the same time forever. Things can change around you. And when it comes to visions, when the Lord wants to usher you to the vision dimension, he starts somewhere and usher you to a new dimension altogether. The Bible says in the book of Daniel, the chapter 10, verse 7, and I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. Now he's not talking about Mara. I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. Now in the verse 10, he's now progressing to the Mara stage of a vision, a higher dimension of the Hazon. So Mara is a higher dimension of the Hazon. For the men who were with me did not see the vision, but a great trembling fell upon them, and they fled to hide themselves. So this kind of vision actually was not the same as he has seen before. Daniel chapter 7, he saw Hazard. Daniel chapter 8, he saw Hazon. Daniel chapter 10, he saw Mara. You should realize that the revelation was progressive, and at this time time, he said the other people didn't see the vision, but a great trembling fell upon them. The Mara stage of a vision is when you are the only one who is what? Arrested into that realm. And that realm, people will know that something is happening spiritually, but they will not be able to point their finger as onto what is actually happening. They will not be able. Even those that were with him, who could not what? See the vision, were exceedingly what? Afraid and trembling, because the atmosphere of heaven came so strongly that the people were trembled. It was the same dimension Paul actually had an encounter on his way to Damascus. So Daniel uses a different word for vision in that scripture, namely what? Mara, not hazard. Things had just what? Shifted from one realm to another realm all of a sudden. Before that, he had visions, but the people around him had never reacted as they did that day. Why? He has been seeing visions. Chapter 7, he had a vision. Chapter 8, he had another vision, but the people never reacted. But in chapter 10, the Bible says a great trembling fell on the people that they ran to hid themselves, which means the vision came in different dimensions. It came in different encounters. The encounters were not the same. It differs. It was different. Why? Because God came in a different dimension that day altogether. And that was the Mara stage of what? Visions revelation. At this stage, it is possible for the Lord to take you away. And I continue. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. Now, as he saw the vision there, the Bible never makes mention of the people around him being affected at all. There would have been probably be people walking around that day. However, there is no record that the people around him were affected. All he had was what? A personal vision. That is in the verse 7. But in the verse 10, we saw that the people around him was what? Affected. So we are touching two levels of visions here. The first level of vision is the Hazon, and the second level is the Mara. So the Hazon dimension of a vision and the Mara dimension of a vision. So there are two different dimensions of visions, the Hazon and the Mara stage. They are all close visions, but the dimension and the effect varies. I see Hazon vision mostly, but the Mara stage of a vision, it is not so common like that. Genesis 5:24. And Enoch walked with God and was not, for God what? Took him. What type of walking did Enoch walk with the Lord? That he was not, for the Lord took him. He walked with the Lord to understand his flesh couldn't be found. People did not know whether Enoch died or not. The Lord took him. That is the Mara stage of a vision. Do you know that? In the Mara stage of a vision, you can finish up and your hair color can change. Your height can change. You can enter the Mara stage of a vision and you come out taller than the way you entered there. You can enter that dimension and you come out, and when people see you, just by touching your clothes, they get healed. It is a dimension where God himself is involved in the meeting. It was the same dimension Moses had on top of the mountain for 40 days. The Bible says when he came down, the people couldn't look at his face eyeball to eyeball. Why? For he has tabernacled the presence of God. He has tabernacled the glory of God. It happens, sir. It is a Mara dimension of a vision, a Mara stage of a vision, where you see the glory of God visible. Your body is affected. This is a dimension where your body is taken into the realm of the spirit. It is not the spirit realm coming to you. It is not an invitation of your spirit to the realm of the spirit. It is when your body, your spirit, everything about you is being captured, is raptured from the physical world to the spiritual world. Where you are in the spirit realm, your totality is in the realm of the spirit. With the Mara stage of a vision, you can go there for 5 years and come out, and it is like one day hasn't passed. Because when you enter that glory realm, you don't lose something, nothing affects you, nothing touches you. No. So it is actually preservatives. It can preserve you. It can reduce your age. Look, it is only in the earthly realm that time affects men. When you are taken into the realm of the spirit, everything stops. Even growth stops. The cells stop growing. Your body stop what? Growing. Everything stop growing. It stays like that. So it is possible to stay long for the rest of your life if you know how to stay with God forever. Do you know that there is a way you can escape death? Death is a choice. You can choose not to die. As a matter of fact, the Bible said the power of the grave is death, and the power of death is sin, and the power of sin is the law. But Jesus have destroyed all this. So which means whatever is destroyed, it's now a choice if you want to die. Religion will not agree, because religion said that all of us should die and all of us must die. That is a choice. You can choose to live and not die, but you pay a greater price for it. What it will require for you to live forever, you may not be able to meet up with that. But there is a dimension of God where you can enter and come out. Everything about you change. Everything about you change.